Hello everyone, welcome to another session for GAMPRG2. For today, we will continue demoing. I'll show you mga common mistakes na nangyayari and how to fix them, and we'll also teach them event dispatcher in C++. Right. So hopefully you have started coding C++. Kasi at this point, hopefully mag-gets nyo kung ano yung gagawin ko. And maybe yung mga problems na ma-encounter natin today that I'll show you is something that you have gone through uh, and will you find out naman how to fix it. Right? So, una sa lahat wait, ano to? Okay, sige. So, una is si character. Now, I've seen this problem before and tagal-tagal na. So, let us go through it. So, example, gumawa tayo ng character. Demo character demo. So, when you first create a character, ano yung components na andun na? Anyone? Kasi kapag actor, supposedly there's no components at all. Si character, ano yung components niya at the very start? Capsule collider, skeletal mesh. Tama. Okay. That's all correct. So, a character already has a skeletal mesh, a capsule collider, and may character movement. So, di nyo na kailangan mag-add ng floating pawn or a sphere collider because ang character mo ng ganun. Now, if you recall, ang milestone 1 is you're requested to you're required to add a spring arm component and a camera component. Now, the thing is, hindi na dapat gawin si spring arm component. Hindi siya dapat yung root component because that will break your character. Nakaset na siya eh. Nakaset na siya na si capsule collider ang root component. So, we should not try to mess up yung hierarchy na yun. Ngayon, let me just add si spring arm component. This is game framework, spring arm, tsaka si camera component. So these are the two components that we will use. With spring arm, ang tanong is saan natin in-attach si spring arm? Ay, sorry. First is we create default sub-object. So use spring arm component, spring arm. Oops. Okay. So, tanong is, saan natin na-attach si spring arm? If you don't want to mess up the hierarchy of the capsule collider and the skeletal mesh, where should we attach the spring arm? Kasi hindi mo pwede siyang gawin set root component. Hindi dapat because again, this will break the hierarchy. Tama. Si ang i-attach natin spring arm is dapat sa root component. So, sino yung root component? If I may ask, sino yung root component? What is the root component of the character? Correct. So, yeah. So, what you do is you should set up the attachment to the root component. So, ito yun. Then, what happens is, sa camera, we create the default, oops, camera component, create default sub-object, view camera component, camera component. Then, camera component, set up attachment, spring arm. So, that's the usual. So, what happens if nag-compile ako pero nilimut ko tong setup attachment? What do you guys think would happen? Will compile. Crash. Uh-huh. It won't be attached to your component. Okay. So, it won't crash naman. Buti hindi naka-crash si Unreal with that. But something else happens. So, yes, tama naman si Oliveros na it won't attach sa root component, but what happens to the spring arm? Kung hindi siya naka-attach, ano mangyayari? Wait lang ah. Bakit ka ano? Camera component. Sige. Let's just say that's part of ano. The Ayan. Okay. This is one of the problems that you may encounter. If I try to send and restart. Ako minsan ayan. This is one problem where it will say you can't seem to start the project anymore. No matter what you do, na like if we go back to Epic Games launcher, we launch the project again. If I recall, it was demo. I think si demo yun. Ayan, okay. So right now, there's a problem because di natin sinet yung U property. Yeah, si U property. Ano ko yan yung kulang dito sa project. So if you open the solution, so sabihin natin we added in the U property. Nope, that's not it. Hanapin natin yung ginawa natin. Source. Nawawala. So nawawala siya. We weren't able to build it, but for some reason, dito ka pala. Ayan. So medyo tama mo to. May create default. Sure, wala tong setup attachment. Problem is, we did not add our U property. Visible anywhere. So same thing with here, U property, visible anywhere. New camera component, create default sub-object. Ay! No! Yeah, you're right, you're right. uh, you're right, you're right, you're right. Oh my God. Na ano, nalimutan na. Tama, 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 tama. Di pa na, I take that fault. So anyway, sige, wait lang ah. Sige, i-close natin yan. Nope, wala to. Yan, okay. Tama nga. Okay. Oh, God. That was so bad. So, that's how you do it. So, kung may error kayo na di nyo mo talaga mabuksan si Unreal Engine, what happens is you will have to access the solution mismo and try to fix your errors within the solution. Then, in order for you to like quote unquote build it, gawin nyo is local window debugger. What happens is they'll try to build it and it'll try to open Unreal Engine, which in this case, ito yun. Now, if I press stop here, supposedly magka-close rin to. But we do need to press this para makabalik ulit tayo sa project natin. Ay, wrong pala, sorry. Library. Demo. So yung changes natin should be okay na. It should still be there. Right? So okay, balik tayo. I'm not sure if it's gonna work anymore, but yeah, it's still gonna work. So ito, what if wala tayong na setup attachment and we have the camera 2 attached to the spring arm? Mangyari is hindi siya magka-crash or anything. However, like what antivirus says, hindi ma-attach yung spring arm sa sa character and hindi rin gagalaw. Hindi siya gagalaw sa pwesto niya no matter how much you move your character. So, let's go. Ay, joke lang. Yan. In here. Let's go create our demo. I think it's called character demo. Ay, no. Ano tinawag dito? Demo character 2. Demo character 2. Test character. Again, in this case, it looks like it's attached to capsule. But you'll see sa transform, nawawala yung kanyang location and rotation. So at this sign, itong sign pa lang is there's something wrong. Okay. Gumagana pa naman yung target offset. It still moves around. And it seems like everything's still working. But may problema nga to. So, ibalik natin dito. If you try to play this with the test character, ayan. As someone said nga, nasa 0-0 siya. And if you notice, ito yung character natin. I'm moving it around, pero our camera still stays there. Now, siguro, which one is that? Okay. So what if, sige, baka nalimot ko nga yung spring arm na setup attachment to our default, our root component. So, okay. Nalagay ko na yung setup attachment. And then, as I compile, there are two cases that will happen. Either it fixes itself or it doesn't after compiling. Either the camera will still stay here when you play, or it actually goes to the character. It's only those two cases. So, play. Andiyan pa rin. Our camera is still on 0-0 kahit na change natin to setup attachment. That happens because itong si constructor na to, it runs at on a certain time, which is, I think, on creation of the character of the blueprint mismo. So this runs when the blueprint is made. Hence, this doesn't happen anymore because the blueprint is already here. Kapag gumawa tayo ng bago, doon siya aayos. What if ayaw ko gumawa ng bago? What if naglagay na ako ng mga events and whatever? An easy fix here is to reparent the character. So if you go to class settings, you will see you have a parent class, meaning ano yung parent ng itong blueprint. In this case, it was demo character 2. So what will you do is you just set it to actor and then put it back to the demo character 2. What happens is, yes, mag-reset ang mga values dito, pero lahat ng mga ginawa nyo dito should still retain. And most of the time, that's what's important. And now you'll see, there's a location and rotation. So, lagyan natin ulit ng first person, tsaka to, baba natin to. As we compile and play, it is now behind the character. Okay? So that's what happens. Yan yung usual problem na you would encounter if you have forgotten to do something. Tapos compile nyo na. Di siya agad mag-update until you reparent. Okay? Questions there? None. Okay. So again, if di nyo mabuksan ang game, ang madaling ng iOS is going through demo solution. Kasi, ang isa pa na problem that some people would encounter is, nagka-copy paste sila dito. They change the camera to, changes to camera component. Tapos, they're gonna compile it na. Ano yung problem dito? What's the problem with what I did? Sure, nag-change ako ng mga stuff. What problem would happen? Ano yung problem na mangyayari dito? Okay. Ang problem dito is itong name. Why? You cannot have two components with a similar name, no matter what. Kahit sa blueprint mismo, you are unable to have two things with the same name. So let's say gumawa ko ng scene. I want to call this arrow component. Or arrow pala. Kasi yan yung pangalan, itong arrow. Ayaw. Or character mesh 0. Ayan, another component is already the same name. Dito pa lang, ayaw nga niya gawin. Eh, sa code, hindi siya mag-error. It won't show na, uy, bawal to. Because that's how it is. Hindi siya mag-error. So, if you try to compile this, as you seen a while ago, dapat mag-error to. And magka-crash si Unreal. Making it making you unable to open Unreal again. Is dapat ang mangyayari. Yon. So, kahit na mag-send and restart ako, wala pa rin. So, I've seen this happen to other people and okay lang. Nangyayari yan. So, what you do is, ang error niya actually, ito yung error niya. Para makita nyo. Default sub-object camera command spring arm already exists for character 2. And it'll say here on CPP 17. CPP line 17. So, ang sabi niya, there's already a spring arm. So, just change it. And you can't send and restart here. You can't restart the game, restart the editor. You have to local window debugger. You need to build it. Ayan, initializing loading and it's open again. Okay? So that's usually the problems that I've seen throughout the terms that I've been teaching GAMPRG2. So that's it for debugging. Now we'll go to sorry. Any questions? After ito, we can go to to teaching event dispatchers. Okay, no questions. So, how do you create an event dispatcher? If you remember, sa GAMPROG 1 ninyo, ang way na to is through event dispatcher and then just name it test event dispatcher. And in here, you're able to bind, you're able to call, and you can set an event. Ayan. It was this easy in Blueprint. However, kapag sa C++, medyo iba siya. A bit weird. Let me just close one of this. Now, in order for you to create an event dispatcher, you have to declare it. You have to declare a signature. What do you mean signature? Yung signature dito, if you recall, makikita na dito, may input, whatever. Ito yung signature. So, if you have a boolean, yan yung signature niya. Or if you have a boolean and a float, ito yung signature niya, boolean float with the names. You have to first create the signature before you are able to create the event dispatcher. In order to do that, dito sa taas, above the U class but below the generated, you have to create declare dynamic multicast delegate. Declare dynamic multicast delegate. It's a mouthful, but it does what it does. It will declare a delegate. Delegate, parang a pointer to a function. Multicast because it can be anything. It can have 1 param, 2 params, 3 params, and more. And yan yung important part rin. Ilan ba dapat ang gusto nyong params? If you have only 1 param, you say 1 param. If you have no param at all, or no parameters, edi ganun lang. Or if you have 2, edi 2 param. Oops. Params pala. Dynamic, multicast, delegate, 2 params. Now this is for 2 parameters. Okay? So let's go with 1 param. So si 1 param, ang unang in any dynamic multicast delegate, ang unang lalagay niyo dito is the name of the delegate. In this case, we can call it F. You need to have F. F death signature. So all I did here is F tapos death signature, yun yung pangalan ko. So important yung F. Next, I have to declare ano yung unang parameter type. In this case, I can choose N32. It can be a float. It can also be CA demo character 2. Pwede rin siyang ganito. Okay, you can do that as well. In this case, I'll just do bool. And then on the third one, or then after the declaring the parameter type, the next is the name of this. So you can name it to anything like B is dead or something. So pwede yung ganun. And then semicolon. So this is my delegate. And in order to create the event dispatcher itself, I have to type here uProperty blueprint assignable. So this is one of the other specifiers. Blueprint assignable. This is only for multicast delegate 1 param. So it's assignable. You can also do blueprint read only. Do we need to write? I think pwede yan. Then finally, the name of the signature, which is fdeath signature, and then the name of the event dispatcher, death. For you, it might still be an error here. It's normal. Minsan you'd have to actually close the Visual Studios just for this to appear. Okay? So ito yung delegate. Now, if I compile this, see test character, which is the demo character 2, it won't appear here, but I have death. Assign death. I have bind event death. I don't even have call. I don't have call here. I think kailangan may U property yun. Blueprint read only. Read. Hindi siya blueprint callable. Blueprint callable is function. This is a U property. Yeah. But anyway, there's a way. Blueprint something. Right? So how do we use this? In order to use this, you have to, in C++, let's say in begin play, so si death, ano yung gusto mong gawin? I can do, in order to bind something, bind a function, add dynamic. It doesn't appear here. It only shows here internal, add dynamic, add unique dynamic. Pero wala siyang autocomplete. But the right thing here is add dynamic. Tapos mag-iiba siya ng kulay. Magiging purple. In here, ang usual dito is kapag nangyayari yung function here, it will be this, and then function name. So yung function name na to, it should go with the signature. Ito. So yung function na yun, dapat parehas may boolean yun siya. So let's say gumawa tayo ng void on death. Ang nalagay natin dito, bool is dead. So gumawa tayo ng function. So in here, in order to call on death here, hindi pwede ganito. Hindi niya itatake yan. Ang tama. Hindi dapat. Ang kailangan nito, kailangan dapat, it is a delegate na rin. So, ampersand, demo character2, which is this class, and then on death. Hold on. This. Wala ba tinatinik yung on death? For hindi si? No. Yes, correct. yeah. My bad. I'm missing the A. So A demo character 2. Okay. So dapat hindi na ito-take to. If you do this, it won't call this. So testing natin, lagay natin ng message Europe. Okay. Alright, G-Engine. G-Engine. Add on-screen debug message. And then in this case, we'll just put 0, 2 seconds. Display color will be F color yellow. And then the message would be hello world. Okay, that's on death. So what we did here is on begin play, we bound death to on death. So if death is called, ito yung mangyayari, si on death. So tawagan natin si death. Actually, we can do this in, sige, dito lang. In order to call death, let's say in another class, you have to have a reference to the character and then broadcast. Broadcast, ito na yung ano yung dapat. Is it true or false? So, pwede naman true. Kapag namatay na si character. True. Lagyan natin yung ano. Yung is dead dito. Ayan. So, we bound death to on death. And then, binotcast natin. Or, we called it. In other words. We compile. Change natin ulit to si test character. We play. You notice, wala. Wala siya because if you're gonna use add dynamic, kailangan nyo dagdagan ng u function. And it doesn't have to have anything inside. Kahit just u function. Okay? So, kailangan to si u function in order for add dynamic to work. Without it, it doesn't know. Hindi na ma-read. So, we're compiling it. And when we play, hello, hello world. Nangyari sa H mo. Actually, nawala rin yung ano eh. Yung text. Well, should have been this text. But anyway, you get the point. Now, lumalabas siya. She is dead. Supposedly, lalabasin siya na true. Maybe it will show here. But, feel ko, kailangan ko i-parse to string. Yeah. Mukhang kailangan ko i-parse. Well, you get the point. Ngayon, if yung function nyo, wala yung boolean or yung tamang signature, if wala yun, let's say ganito, tinanggal natin to, and ito, mag-error siya dito. Because it is looking for a signature of the function na parehas sa death. So, si death, kung nakita natin, if that signature, it is bool is dead. Or boolean, basta boolean. Eh si on death natin wala. Kaya nag-error siya. So if we go back here, balik natin to, everything should be okay na. Okay? So, again, you have to create a delegate first before you're able to create the event dispatcher. And then we can have blueprint assignable, which is yung assign, nakita nyo. Read only. There should be a way to call. I'm not sure if it's blueprint read right. Edit, not edit anywhere. Okay. So actually, we will also see this somewhere else. But let me first ask if may questions ba kayo here. Kung paano mag-add, i-bind yung event dispatcher. Or paano i-call. So, ito yun. So, important, wag nyo gawin to. Wag nyo i-bind sa loob ng constructor. Because like I said, the constructor is called at a certain point and it's not on start. So when always binding, it should be in begin player anywhere besides the constructor. Okay, questions? None. Sige. Now, we can actually see this somewhere else when you try to uh, create an event for like overlapping or on hit, mga ganun. Kasi if you recall, in here, we can add like a on component hit or on component begin overlap, right? And as simple as just right clicking here and then andito na siya. Or we can also type right here on component begin. Di yun pala. Dapat through here nga pala talaga. Or here, if we go down here, ayan, nandito din siya. On component begin overlap or end overlap. Right? Pero, you notice na automatic ano na yung ito. You will notice that. And that means it's using the overlap component, my other actor, etc. Now, if you go here, in order for you to do the same thing na may ibabind kayong event to like on begin overlap, let's say our capsule component. So we see get capsule component. This is the capsule component here. So it is capsule component. So I put arrow. Bawal. So include natin yun. Include. I think it's game framework. Capsule. No, it's not. It's components. Components. Capsule component. Then you should be able to access the other functions here. So again, see on component begin overlap. How are we able to use this? In order to use this, it is the same thing as add dynamic. You need to add dynamic in order to bind an event to on component begin overlap. Pero paano natin malaman ano yung mga yung signature nito? If you notice, if you hover here, my F component begin overlap signature. So sige, i-pick natin yun. And then you see here, you have the signature and the name of the signature. Gawin natin, we pick the signature. And you should be able to see this thing where you have delegate, params, and then you'll see here the F component begin overlap signature. Ang important lang dito is itong from here until the end. Kasi as you notice, this is the name of the component, of the signature. Ito yung kailangan natin. From here until the end. This here is the signature of on component begin overlap. So if you check natin itong overlap component, that is here. Overlap component. And then you have other actor, other comp, other body index, from sweep, etc. Nandito siya. So paano natin gamitin yun? We copy this. And then in here, let's create a function. Let's say u function void on overlap. Then we paste yung signature. Mas makikita nyo may error because you notice that there are commas. So all you have to do is just remove the comma after yung type. Ayan. So remove that and then we are now able to bind the on begin overlap. So A demo character 2 on overlap. And hindi na siya mag-error. If I remove something here, it should error. Okay? Oops, don't forget, ampersand. And there we have. This will work. To test it out, I don't think it's actually, I think it's not gonna work because it overlaps siya. But, sige, try natin. G-engine. Overlap. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not gonna work. Because the capsule component is a block everything. No, block dynamic. Pawn pala. So let's see. Trigger. Let's put a trigger here. Tingnan natin kung ma-call niya yan. So that's hello world. And there you have it. So gagana pa rin. You call niya si overlap because it is overlapping that trigger. So same thing. It uses the same technique. You have to add dynamic and then kailangan nyo malaman yung signature para ito yung function na ipapasok nyo. So again, just keep picking the definition. You'll eventually get to the right definition of the signature. And then all you do is skip the first three. Ang important nito is after the first three. Okay? Actually, same thing here dito eh. Kahit na mag-pick tayo dito, i-pick natin yung definition ng signature nito. And ito yun. Ang nakaiba lang is wala tayong parang primitive component. Alright? Questions? Or clarification? None? Sige, if there are no questions, actually that's it lang for today for our class. This will help in your second milestone since may mga obstacles to being second milestone. I think so. I think it's obstacles. Or no. I don't think it's obstacles. It's a no. It's the infinite spawn ng floor tile. Right. So, yun. Yan yung kailangan nyo. So, in order for you to bind the begin overlap, ito yun. You can even create your own. You can even create your own capsule or sphere if you want. And it applies the same thing. Where we have class, use, sphere, component, which is sphere. And then dito, sphere is equal to create default sub object u sphere component sphere Set up attachment. It's not going to take it in because of the missing include. Include components. Components. Sphere component. Ayan. So same thing here. Sphere on begin on component begin overlap. Diyan pa rin. Or on component hit. So same thing. You should just you should just keep picking your definition. You'll eventually hit the signature, which is right here. Ito lang yung kailangan. Tapos yan yung functions. Yan yung parameters dapat ng function na makakall dito. Alright? Questions? Clarifications? Kung ano naman. Sige, if there are no questions, again, please do try starting your project so that you may, if ever you encounter any problems, at least magapan niya agad and you can ask for help right away. Okay, so please do try to start. And if you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to message me or message me here sa group chat natin. Right? So again, if there are no other questions, let me just check. Si Magpayo, andito ba si Magpayo? Wala. Okay. Siya lang naman yung wala dito. So, okay, that's it for today. You guys can go. Enjoy your night and keep safe.